dear Heavenly Father, we are here to praise your name because you are a great God. Today, we pray that you will come and fill our hearts with your love, and especially fill Jesus' words and preaching with your power and grace and truth. In the name of Jesus Christ.
Alright. Hi everyone, happy Sabbath. I was actually supposed to take this sermon 2 weeks ago, but Robbie took it, so thank you, Robbie. I was actually not ready at the time, but now I feel like I am more ready. And yeah, so let's do it. And the topic for So about myself, I am G-Lex, and I've been coming to church just under 2 years now, and I've learned so much in that period of time. I've had young people help me, and I'm just grateful for this opportunity that I'm able to come and teach you guys or just share a message. So the topic today is about the choices we make. Like what are the choices we make every day that affect our friends, our family, or just, ourselves, and also how does it affect God in general? So let's start with a word of prayer. Right, if you can close our eyes, everyone. Father God, thank you so much for today. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for that I was able to wake up this morning not feeling as nervous as I thought I would be. Thank you for this morning, and I'm able to come here in front of everyone and just share your word, and hopefully at least one person can get what I'm trying to say. I pray that you may speak through me. Help me to understand that I'm not here to, I'm here to just share your word, and hopefully that someone or everyone will at least understand what I'm trying to say. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Now, so there are two things that define you in life, that I thought anyway. So you got your patience when you have nothing, and your attitude when you have everything. How can we be sure, how can we be certain that when Jesus comes back, we will be with him? How will we know for sure? There's a famous Bible verse that we're familiar with the Gospel of John, chapter 14, verse 6. Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Now, if you read this verse carefully, Jesus is saying to everyone who are lost, he's saying, I am the way. To the deceived, I am the truth. To the confused, I am the life. So God is saying, in order for you to get to the Father, you need to know Jesus first. You can't get to God unless you know who Jesus is. Now, how many of us here are still struggling to let go of certain things, and it's really affecting our relationship with God? As Christians, most of us know, most of us have a habit of only reaching out to God when we are afraid, when we need him, or when something is going on in our lives. That's when we usually reach out to God most of the time. For me, before I came to this church, I used to have a fear of flying. Flying was one of my biggest fears. I used to be afraid of flying, because you are 35,000 feet in the air, and when you're in a plane, and when something goes wrong, you know that there's nothing you can do but sit and just pray. I used to have this fear that when you're in a plane, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do to save yourself. All you can do is pray. So every single time when I got on a plane, this is literally how I would feel. So this guy here, that's how my feeling was. as soon as I got on the plane, I was just started thinking about the worst thing. And my family lives really far away from me. They live in Lebanon. So I had to always get in a plane to just go see them. So I was like half happy, but half really, don't really want to go, because the thoughts that went in my mind was that planes are gonna crash, I'm gonna die. This is my last time that I'm gonna, see my family. So let me just pray. But this is the only time that I actually speak to God. Every other day, I never used to really pray. But when I got on the plane, it was a time that I would actually think about God and ask God to help me, like show the pilot where to go so that I may see you one day. But it wasn't until last year when I went to Converge and I was able to feel the presence of God, and He pretty much spoke to me saying, you don't need to worry about anything. Like, don't be scared. Doesn't matter what situation or how impossible it may feel, I have you under cover. So like now, when I get on the plane, this is how I feel. I'm like the happiest person, I just chill. So every time I go on the plane, I just smile because there's nothing to worry about. So when we don't have many struggles in our lives, we forget to be thankful, we forget to read our Bibles, we forget to pray because we think we don't need to pray because everything is going on in our lives, so we don't actually need to seek God. We only reach out to God when things are going horrible in our lives. But let me assure you again that it doesn't matter how many times you pray, how many times you go to church, how many times you do things, like there's nothing you can do that will make God love you more than me. God's love for us is the same. Doesn't matter how many times you go to church or how many times you pray, God loves everyone exactly the same. Ecclesiastes chapter 7:20 says, there is no one on earth who is righteous, no one who does what is right and never sins. But in saying that, we need to always reach out to God when we have broken His law. Like, it's our continuous faith in Him that matters. It's when we give up the things of this world which gives us pleasure. For some of you, it might be giving up the music you listen to or the movies you watch. Like, what is the message in the movie? Like, would Jesus sit right next to you and watch this movie with you? Like, what's the movie or what's the song? What's the message in it? Or like, it could be the way you speak to people, how you dress, or just the way you are in life. If your culture or family tradition goes against God or what the Bible teaches, then we need to ask ourselves again, who and what is more important, our way of life or God's way of life? So no one in this room or outside this room, no one should ever come between you and God. No one should be that burden. Like, if you are trying to reach out to God and there's someone or something that's stopping you getting closer to God, then you need to pray harder. You need to seek God first, seek God's kingdom before anyone else. So as Christians, there's so many ways we can get closer to God. It's not just about knowing and believing, it's more about following. Jesus told His disciples, follow me, because He understands the difference of what it means to believe and to follow. Like, so many people know and believe in Jesus, but they do not follow Him. It doesn't matter what we all believe, we all need Jesus. Like, I was in Lebanon in December, and I was in the clothing store, and I was looking at some clothes, and the owner came to me. He's Lebanese. He comes up to me, he's like, asked me what's my name, what I do, where I'm from. I told him where I was from, and then I also told him that I live in Australia. As soon as he heard Australia, his eyes just went up. He started telling me how much he loves Australia. That one day he wants to come to Australia and take a kangaroo back to Lebanon. I was like, I don't think you can do that, man. But he just loved Australia, and so he asked me if I could take some photos for him for his business, because he owns a business. And he wanted to add some color, because everyone is just Arabs. He wanted to add some little bit of colors to attract more people. So I agreed to it. And so, but when we were taking some photos, I realized that he was smoking so much. Like, he'll finish one, light up another one, just keep smoking. smoking, like I've never seen this guy smoke so much. So anyway, I go up to him and I was like, his name is Ali. I go up to Ali and I was like, Ali, you believe in God? He's like, of course I believe in God, you know? And I was like, why do you smoke so much, man? He's like, yes, I know, I need to stop. I know, I need to stop. He started telling me that he needs to stop, but because of whatever reason, he just can't. And this is the first we took, by the way. So that's me. I forgot what that guy's name. That's me. Canada, shout out Bradley. That's him right there. Yeah. So after this conversation with Ali, I realized that most of us know what we're supposed to do, but we don't do it. Like, we like to follow the crowd. We like to just seek for what makes us happy, or what the things that gives us pleasure. Or we just, as Christians, most of us, we just do what everyone else does. And that's exactly what Paul says. Paul says in Romans chapter 12, do not conform to the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. So, like, what are we doing every day that's making God, that's bringing you closer to God? Like, what are the choices we're making that's affecting our friends, our family, or ultimately separating ourselves from God? Most of us understand what we need to do, but we don't do it. Like, literally, we buy like so many things. We buy excessive amount of things whenever we want because we can. We live in a country where it's easy to get pretty much whatever you want. You know, if you have the money, if you have a job. You know, and it shouldn't be like that. You know, and that was a problem for me because I think like 2 years ago, I walked in a clothing store. I walked in Foot Locker. I saw these shoes. You know, I already had like plenty of shoes in my room. I had like all kinds of basketball shoes. I love basketball, so I have like, all these basketball shoes. I walk in the store. I see these shoes, and I look at them, and I'm like, I have to have them. You know, I walk in, and I look at them, and they were $300. And like, I don't know if that's expensive for you guys, but that is expensive. But they look so good. Anyway, I went up to it and I got them. I've literally worn the shoes like 6 times, and it's sad. So it's not just about the way the things we buy that dishonors God, but it's also the way we represent Him every day. So we need to remember that what you do or what you wear can impact so many people. You know, it's not our place to judge when someone buys whatever they get or whatever they do. But in saying that, if you are wearing or doing something to seek compliment from other people, or just to bring attention to yourself in a way that displeases God, then we need to remember that God knows our intentions. So whatever you do, you should always do it for the will of God. 1 Corinthians 10:31. So whatever you eat, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for God. Pretty much what I just said. You know, we spend so much time trying to make ourselves happy with the things that we get or buy. But it doesn't matter, you know, it's only for a short period of time until we want something else or something better. Unless you follow Jesus, there's nothing in this world that will ever fully satisfy you. Remember that God blessed you with the life that you have, with the job that you have, so you can pass the blessing to others. It was not to keep the blessing to yourself. You know, God told Abraham, I'll bless you, so you can be a blessing. You know? We seem to always want more from God without realizing the things He has already given us. And that's the weakness. That's the weakness Satan uses against us, because that's what he tried to use against Jesus, because he worked on Adam and Eve. You know, Satan told Jesus, I'll give you everything. I'll give you the whole world. You know, you need to stop stressing yourself, man. You need to eat. Look at you, you're skinny. Eat. Like, I'll give you the whole world and everything will be yours. Like, if you just follow me, I'll give you whatever you want. You know, and like Satan was pretty much putting himself in the position of God by saying, because only God says, if you follow me, if you do my will, if you do what is supposed to be good for us, you will be happy. You will have less stress. You'll be the happiest person there is. You have no worries. But Satan is saying, I will give you that if you follow me. You know, in Isaiah chapter 14, Satan says, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will also sit on the mount of congregation on the farther side of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Now, if you the last little bit, you know, notice that he doesn't say, I will be higher than God. I will be more than God. I will be like God. Because he knows that the position that God is in is the highest he can be. So he wants to be at the same position as God. You know, when Satan went up to Jesus, I can almost imagine like going up to him like a salesman, you know, be like, all right, Jesus, man, do you want to be happy? All right, look, I'll give you Russia. I'll give you Africa. I'll give you Australia. I'll give you the whole world, and you'll be happy. You know, this is what you need. No interest-free, man. It's all yours. Just come to me, and I'll give it all to you. And literally, so like, and that's what Satan tries to use. He tries to get into our mind to believe that we need certain things to make us happy. We need to just work on ourselves and just build ourselves up every single time. And like, people are trying to get you to believe that there's this big middle ground of like praising. So when you go, I know I'm not really good with God right now. I know I'm not really worshiping Satan. I'm just being me. I'm just working on myself. Let me just be me for now. Isn't that what it means to worship Satan? Like, when Satan, what does he ask from us? What does he say? Does he ask us to sing for him? Or dance for him? Or like go down on knees and actually worship him? When he was tempting Eve in the garden, what was he saying to her? Sing for me. Dance for me. Worship me. Come on, Eve, come here and sing for me. No. He was saying, do what you want. Take it. Be your own boss. Don't listen to God. Do what you want. Make yourself the happiest person you can be. God is restricting you from all these things. If you just take it and do whatever you want, you'll be happy. And what is the point of advertisement than to make us unhappy with what we have and who we are? Literally for hours and hours every single day, we are told that our phone is wrong, our skin is wrong, our hair is wrong, our house is wrong, our car is wrong, everything about us is wrong, and it can all be fixed if we just go spend a little bit extra, if we just make ourselves happy, because we need to get that phone with 3 cameras so we can take more photos. You know, because right now our phone can only take 1 photo at a time. We need to do it. We need something better. So the devil failed against Jesus, but instead he gets us every time with these things like how to be stronger, how to make our lives better, and how to be a better person. But we know that the only one who gives true happiness is God alone. When you decide to follow the steps of Jesus by displaying his characters, you know, by asking ourselves, WWJD, which stands for what would Jesus do? When we try to understand the struggles so many people face every day, it will make us want to make better choices in life. This is one of my favorite verses in the Bible. It goes, do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in them. Now, some of us are blinded by the things we get, the things that we buy all the time, that we don't sense the need for others. Our eyes will never be satisfied if they are fixed on gaining more and better stuff. Now, I'm not saying we can't have nice things. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that if you convince yourself that you need to spend $300 on one shoes like I did, or get more clothes because you just sick of that color or whatever, or it could be anything. If we convince ourselves that we need to get more stuff when we already have enough of it, then I feel like we just need to pray more and just ask God to show us the right way. When we focus too much on ourselves, like when we focus too much on our self-interest and the things that makes us happy, rather than working on our character, then we are somehow choosing to uplift ourselves. You know, Jesus said, for those who exalt themselves will be humbled, but those who humble themselves will be exalted. Jesus died for you and I so that we may one day live the perfect life we were always intended to live. Now, He didn't die for you and I to think we are better than everyone else, or we think all about ourselves. He died so that we will have the perfect life we were always intended to live. Now, I feel like we change our appearance, the way we look all the time, so that we may seek compliments or just do something so that others can notice. You know, but one thing I realized in the Bible is that there are not many scriptures, not many verses in the Bible that talks about how Jesus looked. You know, like you see in movies all the time, in Jesus' movie, he's got like beautiful long hair, blue eyes, you know, whatever it looks like. But like, he's always looking absolute best. You know, I found this verse in 53, Isaiah, and Isaiah 53 is all about Jesus. You know, how Jesus will be killed and all that. But Isaiah 53 verse 2, it says, He grew up before him like a tender shoot and like a root out of a dry ground. He had no beauty or majesty to attract us to him. Nothing in his appearance that we should desire. There was nothing about the way Jesus looked that made people look at him again. He had nothing. He chose to be as simple as he can be. It was just the way that he spoke to people, the way he walked with God, that made him different from everyone else. But the way he looked, it was literally, there was nothing special about the way Jesus looked. There was a study done in 2014 about the things humans consume or buy, and it was the results that I found was actually very interesting. So I learned that in 2014, the United States or America spent 11.2 billion on cosmetics. So that's your makeup, your skincare, everything that makes you look your absolute best. $12 billion was spent on perfumes between the United States and Europe. And I'm guilty of that actually, because I have like 10 of these at home. You know, like one is for go to gym, one is for church, one is for this, one is for that, one is for my car, just in case I forget to put on. You know, so I have like backup of these, because you gotta make sure you smell good, obviously. $78 billion was spent on watches and jewelry on just the United States. Now I don't know what the whole world spent, but I can imagine it's like so much. And the thing that fascinated me the most was that the whole world spent 50 billion on. So who wants to guess whether it was shoes or ice cream? Who thinks it's shoes? Who thinks it's ice cream? Ice cream it is. The world spent 50 billion on ice cream. You know. Now I'm not saying that you're a bad person for having ice cream, for having makeup, for having a gold chain and gold ring, for having 12 perfumes at home. You know? But what I am saying is that so often we like to put our taste buds, our appearance, our self-interest above other people. We like to have what we want when we want it because we can. And Paul in Timothy talks about this actually. In 2 Timothy, that was the things, by the way. So 2 Timothy verse 3, Paul says, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, and unholy. But the thing that I want to focus more on is people will be lovers of themselves. You know, I like to think that before the cameras or anything was invented, like, you know, when we couldn't take a photo of anything, when we saw the sunrise or the sunset, we would just admire it. You know, we just spend hours and look at the beauty of what God created. We just look at it and spend hours just staring at it. But now, you know, if you see something like a waterfall or a nice, beautiful sunrise, we gotta take our phone now. Where's our phone? You know, but now we want to be in it. We want to be in front of God's creation and take a selfie and just show everyone, well, look at how beautiful the sunset is. Or just ignore about me, just look behind me, you know. But our face is in front of it. You know, I'm not saying selfies is that, well, it could be anything really. And so in this world, that I think that there's a powerful pull to live a comfortable life, you know, to driving the nicest car, you know, have the best big house, you know, make a name for ourselves, a name for our family. You know, if you decide to follow Jesus, He will strip you from everything that's against His character. The difficult part of Christian life is that we don't want to be stripped of everything. We search in this world for happiness, and the true happiness can only be found in Jesus. He's our ultimate example of how we should be around everyone. The only thing that will stop you getting right with God is your love for yourself, your love for sin, or whatever it is. No one will ever endure or experience the guilt, the shame, the suffering, the burden, the sorrow like Jesus did. Jesus took on everything on Himself so that we shouldn't make any excuses as to why we choose to be who we are or the choices that we make. He took that all on Himself, so don't have any excuses. Every single moment of our lives, no matter where we are or what we're doing, let's try to live a life in a way which brings glory to God. So, whatever you do it all for Him. Jesus manifested the character of God in Himself. So He asks us that we must also follow Him, to be like Him, to think like Him. Our faith needs to grow stronger every day, every single day. And it can only be done if we surrender ourselves to God and ask for the Holy Spirit to strengthen us every single day. When Jesus' disciples asked Him, when will be the sign of your coming? What will be the sign of your coming? The very first thing He said to them was, take heed or watch out that no one deceives you. Because right now, so many of us are being deceived every single day and don't realize it. We are making the choices that will hurt ourselves, hurt our friends and family, and ultimately separate ourselves from God because of our choices. So We need to live for God and not for anyone else. Because no one will take you to heaven except for yourself. The choices we make now will determine how valuable and how important our relationship is with God. Now, if you didn't get anything that I said to them, I just want you to remember this one thing. So there are two things that define you in life. Your patience when you have nothing, and your attitude when you have everything. Amen.
Amen. Amen.